Allô, Nissan? Hey, grosse tempête, hein?
Hey, Karine, oui, je sais, les vilains bonhommes de neige sont de retour.
Mais avec le Nissan Rogue à traction intégrale, c'est pas stressant.
Exact, il est conçu et testé pour nos hivers. Oh, Karine, il y a un bonhomme dans le Rogue.
Ah, c'est correct. J'ai allumé les sièges chauffants.
Ah, bien joué, Karine. Maîtrisez toutes les conditions. Louez le Rogue S 2026 à partir de 0,4% jusqu'à 36 mois, incluant une réduction fidélité de 0,5% pour les clients Nissan admissibles. Jusqu'au 2 mars, sur approbation de crédit, les conditions s'appliquent. Détails chez Nissan.
All right, welcome back to the Elias Macos Show. Now, before the break, I asked you a question because we're going to be talking about how the city is going to revamp a deadly intersection in this city. Last 5 years, 540 collisions. So I threw this at you. I said, hey, where is this? What intersection do you think I'm talking about? Got so many guesses here. Someone writing in Dollard and Newman in LaSalle. Vicky, you are incorrect. And I just want to point this out. There was one listener. It's the first time they've ever texted us because we can see the phone number, how many times they've texted. This listener sent us a note here. DeCarry and de Maisonneuve, Elias. And ding, 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 this listener is correct. It's an intersection I know really well. I used to live on DeCarry, in between de Maisonneuve and Sherbrooke. For 10 years, I lived in an upper duplex on that street. So I know just how bad this intersection is. DeCarry and de Maisonneuve. And it's a 5-corner intersection because not only do you have DeCarry and de Maisonneuve, you've got Upper Lachine Road, which connects at that intersection. Now the borough of CDN-NDG says plans are in the works to revamp it, but drivers might not like some of the proposed changes. Gracia Kasoki-Katahwa is the mayor of CDN-NDG, and she joins us again. Thank you so much, Mayor Kasoki-Katahwa. Thanks for coming back on, Gracia.
Thank you, Elias, for having me.
So, man, what do you do? It seems like no solution is a good solution. Mm-hmm. So what do you do? What have you decided to do here?
So, this honestly deadly intersection, people have been talking to me about it for a long time, and I worked really hard with my colleague Sophie Mosrol to find a solution. So what we did, we went to see the population last year to ask them questions about how they're using that intersection and what needs to be improved. And then they came up this week with their proposal. So the proposal is... So that five lines intersection at DeCarry, de Maisonneuve, Upper Lachine, we're going to remove one intersection. So we're going to remove the access of cars to the Maisonneuve intersection, the Maisonneuve line there. So it's going to be a 4-line intersection instead of 5. So it's going to be more intuitive for the people there, and it's also going to be safer for the pedestrians and the cyclists that cross there as well. So that part of the Maisonneuve, so between DeCarry and Prudhomme, basically, will only be accessible for active transportation. So, the bike path that goes there and the people that walk there as well. So it's going to become a 4-line intersection. So that's one of the things that we're doing. The other thing that people were talking to me about is the interaction between everybody, like at the Maisonneuve, in front of the Vendôme subway. Mm-hmm. So there we're also going to improve the dedicated spaces for the people who walk. It's going to be wider sidewalks there. The people who bike, it's going to be also a wider bike path. The interaction between the people who walk from the bike path will be clearer. The people who take the bus also and get out and come off the bus, they will have a dedicated space there as well. So we're going to improve all that area. To be able to do that on the Maisonneuve in front of the Vendôme subway, we're going to have to go down to 2 lines for cars, so 1 line in each direction, and we're going to have dedicated space for the buses and people who have to drop off people in front of the QZM entrance that is on the Maisonneuve.
Does that mean like some of the lane for parking is going to be gone from the Maisonneuve? Is that what we're looking at?
No, we're going to add a drop-off specifically for the cars and a dedicated space for the bus. For the people who drive there, there's often many, people need to wait for the bus to drop off people oftentimes, so we're going to have a dedicated space for them to be able to do that, so the cars could continue their route, and there will be more fluidity because of that.
One of the things that I'm concerned with is that whenever you make a decision, no matter what the solution, there are consequences all over the place, right?
Yeah,
so I think one of the worries that I have is, okay, so this, the stats show it up. This is a dangerous intersection. Mm-hmm. But my worry is, in 3 years, you're on this show, and we're like, now let's talk about the deadly intersection of Girouard and Sherbrooke, because so much traffic got moved up to Sherbrooke, right? So, and I've seen people online that are talking about that. They say, if you go ahead with this, that just means the DeCarry will get crazy and then Sherbrooke Street will get even crazier. Do you share those concerns that there will be other effects that may make things worse?
There will be other effects for sure. So the traffic will have to be redirected. So people who may use that route, they're gonna have to find other routes. You have Saint-Jacques that people could use. You're gonna have Vicary, you're gonna have Sherbrooke. But we had to do something. Like that. It was one of the worst intersection in Montreal, and it was not possible to keep the five lines of intersections there. So we had to do something. So we chose, they're proposing that one. If it was Upper Lachine or Vicary, so any of the choices will bring consequences, and I know that. But yeah, it's going to redirect some cars definitely.
So there's one head scratcher to me, and that is there's an exit off the Vicary that was created specifically for access to the super hospital, and so much of this is because the super hospital, right, the Glen, has become such a important part of the sector, right, and that brought a lot of traffic there. So it's been pointed out that because of these changes, the exit that was made to go to the hospital now becomes useless, right? Because people are not going to be able to turn towards the super hospital. They're going to be turned into the opposite direction. That's something to me, it's when people get frustrated that nobody's talking to each other. What about that? What about that exit becoming a little bit more useless?
I mean, people are not talking to each other. We need to know that this configuration in that area was put in place like 15 years ago because it took so long to do the CUSUM, which is an important institution that we have in the borough. After that, the provincial government did the the échangeur turco that brings more work. So, like in that time, the way it was thought is that there was a lot of changes made in the NDG area and even in part of the Queen Mary Côte-Saint-Luc area to accommodate all the work that was coming up. It was supposed to be temporary, but it's a 15-year temporary project. So I understand that people say that, it was made to facilitate the entrance there, but it was for a temporary time because of the construction. Now that it's done, and the consequences of that, honestly, are been like the more than 500 collision and the 2 deaths. So now that all that work was done, we need to give back the neighborhood to the people of NDG and make sure that it's safer for people, safer for the parents that goes to the CPEs that are in the area, and it's really dangerous for them, safer for the people, a lot of people that take the Maisonneuve, one of the first bypass that we have in our city that takes it to go downtown. So we need to make that space safer for people. There's many other ways to get to the CUSUM. And I know that because I have family members that have to bring that there often. So there's other ways for people to get to the CUSUM. It was not the only way. I understand that it's a change for a lot of people, but there's other ways to access the CUSUM now.
Mayor Kasoki-Katahwa, we do have to leave it there. Gracia, I want to thank you for your time this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
That is the mayor of Côte-des-Neiges NDG, Gracia Kasoki-Katahwa.